Why else would the millionaires and the billionaires of the world be taking Dubai and choosing to bring families here? So the opportunity, I think, for us far outweighs the obstacles or the challenges that we're facing right
We've seen nothing yet, have we?
now. Oh, no, nothing.
We've been here since the 1990s, both of
Yeah.
us, and it's all to come.
The expo, I used to tell people, was the trailer. The expo, the 6 months where we welcomed the world to Dubai, and many stayed here, didn't go back. Some who left took the decision after that, and they're all moving companies and families and foreign direct investments into Dubai. So, but the expo was only the trailer.
Good opportunity, tease it, like tease people to come
Absolutely,
across.
absolutely. But again, we had 6 months of it. Come to our city. When people came to visit for the expo, they did not just go to Dubai South and lock themselves there. They enjoyed our city. They saw the lifestyle. They saw the safety, the cleanliness. They saw the quality of life. They saw the hotels, the clubs, the malls, the infrastructure in the city. And at the back of their head, they were thinking, I don't see this in London. I don't see this in Mumbai. I don't see this in New York today. And this is a young city in the desert. And it was unbelievable. So this is not just a one-pronged approach.
Good morning, come on in. How are you? Nice to see you. Welcome to Property Talk from Louise's Lounge. On today's episode, we have Dr. Anand Menon, CEO of Empowered Performance and also known as the Success Sculptor. Welcome, Dr. Anand.
Thank you for having me, Louise.
Great to see you again.
Great to see you again. Yeah.
So, Success Sculptor, what does that mean and how does your coaching connect to the business of real estate?
Okay, firstly, I chose this title a long time ago because I watched the history of the statue of David being sculpted. Then I realized something, and it was an excellent metaphor for performance, regardless whether it is sales or otherwise. You see, people are like these large blocks of stone. Okay, and they have, over the years, they've built up patterns, negativity, certain ways of doing things. And so they are there sitting at desks in our offices. And if we don't recognize as leaders that there is incredible potential hidden inside each of those blocks of stone or marble, we're never going to be able to really bring out the best in them. So my job is like this sculptor. I look at a person and I say, okay, there is huge potential inside. If this is something that I can do, and then we even help them to come out with a way to do it. Now, why is this particularly important in real estate? We can't hire employees anymore. Employees are the type of people who bring excuses to the table. We need to hire entrepreneurs, people who are self-managed and driven.
Totally agree with you. So you've worked with leaders, professionals across many different industries. What do you see as the biggest challenges and opportunities in Dubai's property market today?
Okay, if I look at challenges right now, there's something I always say, which is honey attracts flies. Okay, but that's in any popular market worldwide. It's not just a Dubai phenomenon. But keeping it to Dubai and real estate is, I think the competition is so intense now. We have over 2,000 registered developers. About 530 of them are active developers. There is a lot out there. And they are intensely competitive with each other. But quite frankly, when you look at them, it's hard to really differentiate what is the uniqueness many of these developers are bringing. There are the legacy developers. There are the long-term players in the market. There are the unique ones coming into the market, and they don't have a problem. But a mass in that category of developers are pretty much the same. Cookie cutter in what they're trying to bring out. So there's intense competition. So when your product doesn't excel really, the competition moves on to prices and payment plans. And so this is one challenge that I see in the market today with too many people coming in, because many of them are simply opportunists. They're not here for the long run. They're not here to actually contribute to the landscape. They take an opportunity of an incredible business environment and they have set up shop. I'll give you an example of one developer, but I won't take the name, obviously. They wanted me to be ambassador. So I said, okay, tell me what's your story? What's your USP? And he said, what USP are you talking about? I have studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. So I said, thank you very much. There's no way I can work with you. When the owner of the company says, I have studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, what USP do you want? You can imagine how their sales teams are going to start talking on the floor. So that's the reason why I'm saying that There's a lot of competition and there's so much information. It sometimes scares a genuine client because they can get, it's like trying to drink water from a fire hose. It's going to
too
blow
much.
you away.
Yeah.
That's one challenge I see. The second challenge is perception. It is true that while we have some really amazing brokerage companies, brokers, and opportunities, a lot of brokers who really shouldn't even be in this market. So they tarnish the perception, particularly when the profile of buyers has changed. You have educated buyers, well researched, data driven, based on international reports coming in, who have purchased property and have had next level broker experiences, Singapore, New York, London, Sydney, Toronto. They're coming in and then they're running into these guys on the street who don't even know how many transactions happened in their own city the previous day. So the perception I see as a challenge in the market as well. The third challenge I see in the market is there's a lot of fragmented voices around Dubai. The world is looking at Dubai. That gives us such a huge opportunity. Now, to support that, you have a government that creates policies, that is building infrastructure which is next level and which is for the future. This is a huge opportunity for people today. We are the most forward-thinking country now on crypto, digital currencies, prop tech platforms, and futuristic infrastructure, AI and blockchain. We have Sheikh Mohammed and his cabinet is going to be sitting with AI at the table. AI is going to sit at the next cabinet and budget meeting at the table. I don't know how many governments have that. So there is a huge opportunity for us. And then I think the third opportunity really for us is the positioning that we can do. Today, Dubai is holding its own among the top 10 cities in the world. And we got there in 24 years. Okay, so and the people are leaving the other cities which are in the top 10 and coming to Dubai. So the positioning of the city is perfect right now. Whether it's geographical positioning, east and the west, whether it is technology, future technologies, currencies, work opportunities, we have positioned our city perfectly. So the opportunities are tremendous. Why else would the millionaires and the billionaires of the world be taking Dubai and choosing to bring families here? So the opportunity, I think, for us far outweighs the obstacles or the challenges that we're facing right
We've seen nothing yet, have we?
now. Oh, no, nothing.
We've been here since the 1990s, both of us, and it's all to come.
The expo, I used to tell people, was the trailer.
Okay.
The expo, the 6 months where we welcomed the world to Dubai, and many stayed here, didn't go back. Some who left took the decision after that, and they're all moving companies and families and foreign direct investments into Dubai. So, but the expo was only the trailer.
Good opportunity, tease it, like tease people to come
Absolutely,
across.
absolutely. But again, we had 6 months of it. Come to our city. When people came to visit for the expo, they did not just go to Dubai South and lock themselves there. They enjoyed our city. They saw the lifestyle. They saw the safety, the cleanliness. They saw the quality of life. They saw the hotels, the clubs, the malls, the infrastructure in the city. And at the back of their head, they were thinking, I don't see this in London. I don't see this in Mumbai. I don't see this in New York today. And this is a young city in the desert. And it was unbelievable. So this is not just a one-pronged approach. It is a global approach so that we build everything in its place so that when we achieve the agenda, we are indeed the best city to live in the world. This is the beauty of the thinking of Dubai.
I'm very excited living in Dubai after all of that. So for a buyer or investor entering into Dubai's market, so what kind of mindset should they develop to make smart and confident and informed decisions?
Okay, that's actually a good question. Dubai is no more this flip game. You know, at one point of time it was like that, but people need to understand that the real power of investing and reaping the benefits in Dubai is long term. So people need to go into wealth consolidation, looking at long term benefits. When you meet with salespeople who tell you that you can exit in 2 years and 2.5 years, you better be careful about that, because on paper everything is possible, but in reality it's different. The number looks great on paper and in principle it does work. But what you need to look at is, for that number to work, someone must come and buy. Now, why would a family come and buy if 2 years later or 2.5 years later, your artificial beach is not ready? The green spaces are not there. There is no mall. There are no schools. The lagoons that we have promised now, they are coming, but they're going to take 6 years to 8 years to come. So we calculate on paper, we jump in thinking we can flip, but we're not considering at point of exit, is the community able to sustain lifestyle? And so what happens is people jump because of the greed, and then they realize they cannot exit. So if you're coming to our markets now thinking of flips quickly, you need to rethink that. The real money comes in the long-term asset portfolio that you create. Be very careful about that. The second thing that you need to be careful about, because we have so many players in the market today, is you need to work with legacy players. People who, even if they could be new even in the market, but they have legacy elsewhere. So these are people who have spent years and years and built homes. They're not going to throw all of that under the bus to create 2 towers here. You want to look for those kind of people to work with. And then very important within this market, because there's so much of noise, you need to work with credible agencies, with registered licensed brokers who can demonstrate to you from the word go that they actually know what they're talking about. So apart from these three, I think what's really important today for the investor is they need to understand, when you are investing in real estate, particularly if you're doing an off plan, you're investing in the future, not in the past. We've had 24 years of an amazing run. In fact, we've already broken last year's record last week. We have crossed the total numbers of last year. So this is already our 5th record year. So that's all fantastic, but that's the past. You are investing in the future. What does the future look like for Dubai? What does the future look like in that particular area within Dubai? Are you coming into a community that is already overdeveloped or reaching its peak? Or are you coming into something that is emerging in an area and is going to have future potential? You have to consider these things as an investor. You don't just look at price and payment plan to come in thinking it's easy for you. Anyone who's coming in because the payment plan is attractive is going to seriously hurt themselves. So it's the performance potential that they need to think about.
So long-term exit strategy, if ever. I mean, a lot of people use property for pensions and retirement.
Even if a person does want a short-term exit, let's say a 3-year exit, you need to take, for example, if you had to buy something today in a business bay, you can exit in 3 years because the lifestyle is ready. A family would come into that. You could look at Dubai Hills Estate where we're sitting right now. Lifestyle is ready. So I could get into an opportunity here. The legacy of this developer will create demand for me if I want to exit in 3 years, because many people missed out in the launch of that property. At handover, there are people ready to pay. You can make your premium on it. When they come in, they immediately enjoy the lifestyle in the market. So this is a community where you could do a quick exit. So if your plan is to exit, then you need to be very careful that you look at the point of readiness in the community at point of exit. Otherwise, you're seriously going to hurt yourself. And this causes some of the distressed sales. And why? Because let's say I'm a broker or a salesperson and I honestly don't care about you, Louise. Okay? I want your money. Now you tell me I only have this 2 million, that's a 3.6 million. I would tell Louise, you don't need 3.6. All you need is 40 to 50%, and you have that with you. And all you can do is exit and make an amazing return. But I'm not going to tell you that 2 to 3 years from now, that community will not find you a second buyer. So now what happens? You reach that point, there's no one to buy, there is a next installment coming up, and you don't have the cash. That's where the distress starts. Not every distress is because a genuine problem happened in someone's business or family life. Some are those, but most of it is through this wrong positioning.
Because they thought short-term exit strategy was just too short for the development. So let's look at selling a property. It can be very emotional experience, selling a property as well. From your coaching perspective, what helps sellers manage their expectations and stay focused on their goals?
I think the first thing is sitting down with the seller and getting him to agree that the market pays for asset value, not emotional value. Getting them to see that, that's important. I lived in that. My children were born, that there is emotional value. So you're pricing it based on emotion, but the market is going to pay on asset value. So if you want your unit to stay listed but have no real views or offers, you would price it on emotional value. So we need to help them understand that if it is emotional value, then they're going to make poor judgments on pricing and negotiation decisions. So someone coming with a genuine value based on the asset value, I would not even consider them, because I'm looking at an emotional value. So it's very important to get, and again, the approach is getting them to acknowledge it. You cannot sit and tell them this. So it's the right kind of questioning that helps do that. The second thing that the coaching can help is establish the expectations with them early. So whether it is pricing, the opportunity window, the time frame within which homes sell the fastest within each community. Each community has its own opportunity window based on the footfall and the demand for those areas, the type of developers and the lifestyle being offered. Therefore, there is a quicker demand in certain communities and a slower demand in other communities. So you need to be aware of the opportunity window. So coaching can help have those kind of conversations. The third thing is, through coaching, we know how to get people to focus on the why. Don't focus on the how much. What was the original reason you were looking to sell? Is it because you have to relocate, a reassignment of work? Is it because you want to reinvest and scale up to a bigger villa or mansion, and there is an opportunity, because that opportunity is not waiting for you? So get them to focus on the why. Is it a liquidity need that they have? And then I think when in the middle of all of this, it is very important to help people recognize how that unit would sell within what I always refer to as the opportunity window. So I think coaching really helps you to put these things into perspective. And obviously, what really helps here in all of this is communicate constantly. One of the biggest issues I find from investors and home sellers is, till the point the listing is obtained, they're always talking to me. After that, there's no sign of them. I have to call them 3 weeks later. What's happening with my listing? So you destroy the relationship, and which eventually becomes emotional. It becomes a regret decision that I went with you. And now here's the damage. Let's say you are not in touch with me at all and I'm the seller. And suddenly you do have someone after 4 to 5 weeks comes, but he's asking for a little lower than the price. You don't even have a relationship for me to be willing to consider, let's discuss that. Because you just showed up with a discounted offer. But if you've been in touch with me regularly, giving me updates saying, I did get someone, you wanted 4.8, they were only looking 4.5, so I really did not want to waste your time, but I just thought I'll let you know. And you keep giving it to them, you are actually building the relationship, which sets you up so that if we get something that might be a little low, you're willing to listen to me because I've been calling you twice a week. So I think this is where that emotional engagement needs to happen. Coaching can really help with that.
And when it comes to investors, how does performance coaching help them avoid the fear, the hesitation, the impulsive decisions, especially obviously in our fast market?
Oh, absolutely. No, I understand that. I think those words that you used, actually, the fear and the hesitation, impulse decisions. You see, the two major motivators is fear and desire. These are the two that actually help people. However, we need to help people manage the fear as well as the desire. There's always a very fine line, Louise, between desire and greed. The desire is, I want, particularly as an investor, my desire is I want to make as much as I can. So sometimes I get greedy looking at these numbers that are shown to me. My eyeballs turn into dollar signs because I've been promised this incredible amount on exits. And so suddenly I don't actually do the due diligence and consider everything, and I start to jump in. That becomes an impulse. Yeah. So that is something that where we can help manage. Fear works the other way around. You see, the greed, once the desire turns to greed, and most times people are not even aware it has become greed, so they take the impulse. So it quickens the decision making without considering all the relevant information. Fear is the other way around. What fear does is it procrastinates. It overthinks situations. It imagines all these monsters in every little conversation. It's like there's Godzilla lurking behind every opportunity for you, and it paralyzes people through the overthinking, and so they end up never actually making a decision. So I think when you coach people, you work with their mindsets, and you begin to ask questions that open their mind and thinking. The key to all coaching is to get people to own their decisions and answers. Because once people have owned the answer, you don't have to sell anything to them.
Yeah, just got to get them there.
Absolutely. So I think this is very important. There is one more thing which maybe I'll talk about a little bit later, which is called strategic selling. and actually let's talk about it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this helps for investors. What I found works very well with all my investors, that's why I close my deals, is I tell them, okay, now that you have seen what the opportunity is and it's ticking a few boxes, let's do an evaluation on it, shall we? I said, I use a strategic investment plan. It's a single one-page document. I said, there are 10 questions on this, Louise. Let's see how many of these boxes that you can tick. If you are able to tick 6 or more boxes, this is a great opportunity for you. Now, I actually have a form and I go through that. So the first thing on that form, obviously, is the need, the reason that they're looking to buy. Can you confidently put a tick on this saying, this is actually giving me what I want? And I never put it, I make them do it. So I give it to them. I said, okay, tick, excellent. Now, in terms of your capacity for the entry into this investment and during the holding period, even beyond exit if needed, can you manage this? They take it. You see, the moment you take, it's a brain-hand connection. Then the third thing is the opportunity window, the time frame within which you're looking to come in. Can you manage that? So these sort of things, and I start looking, for example, exit strategy. At the point of exit that you choose, say 3 years from now, do you see this community being in a position to bring you the next buyers? Tick. So once people start ticking, in a way, it's like a reminder.
Old school, isn't it? Pen, paper, tick, tick.
100% plus. What I'm also doing, the psychology behind this is reminding them of everything which was the reason they came. So I said my first 5 questions are a critical part. It has to be a tick on everything. The next 5 are the nice to haves. And if you can tick some of the nice to haves and all the criticals, I just look at the paper and tell them, well, looks like we've got a decision on this, haven't we?
So
I think
through the process, you're taking
correct.
the emotion away and making it more logical for
Yeah.
them.
So, and they feel good about that decision. And so it's justified by the logic on the paper. So I think this is where a strategic plan really helps investors with it.
Okay, got to introduce that for all my team. And have you seen a surprising insight or strategy that's worked in other industries that you could also apply to property investors in Dubai?
Oh, yes. I have seen something, and of late I have been talking about it a lot. And I think this is going to help all the investors who are watching this. It's going to help the sales professionals as well. It's a psychological thing. You have it, I have it as well. Everybody has it. It's called a frame of reference. Now, a frame of reference is what every human being operates on. A frame is essentially something that I know, something that I have seen, something that I believe in, or something that I have experienced. Now, just by definition, these tend to come from our past because I've experienced something in my past. But it's an unconscious tool. So a frame is historical and it is unconscious. So because it's unconscious, I'm not even aware that it can be clouding my judgment of a new opportunity because it's historical. So to bring this into context, and you'll see why this is important and how to change it. Let's say we're talking to a buyer from Northern America, Canada, US. Let's take London, UK, for example. Their understanding of property is largely ready home investments. These markets, many of them are between 94 to 96% ready homes, exclusively listed with one agent, solicitors involved in the whole process to do the work for you, and 72% of those are bought on a mortgage. So now, that's my understanding of real estate. That's my exposure. That's my frame. I don't get this EOI concept. Why do I have to put money in advance and be with a token with 2,000 others? And I don't understand paying on sand, putting the money on sand for a promise that might come in 3 years or possibly 5 years in an economy which is looking good now, but I don't even know if it is going to be at that state. So I cannot relate to this because my frame prevents me from doing that.
It's just a block wall.
Yeah, it's a block. The thing is, the clients don't even understand they have this frame, so there is certain anxiety. They can't even express it. So I've discovered that this is what's holding people back. So smart leaders or agencies, the first thing they would do is they would coach and train their teams to alter frames of references. Because imagine if you come from a historical market using a historical frame and you're trying to understand a city of the future, the past can never understand the future. So A good leader in sales recognizes that the first frame I have to change is my own people's frame. They're carrying perceptions from their past, from where they came from, so they themselves may not be able to associate and relate with the future of the city and the industry. Change their frames first, then teach them to alter the frame with the clients. Clients open up just like that. Once they have begun to understand, well, that's true, it doesn't really make sense for me to be allowing that to hold me back. It's just two completely different markets. So this is one thing I discovered, which I think in an industry like ours is a huge game changer if people are going to take it seriously. Remember, we are asking people to put money on sand.
And they're not even aware that their past is preventing
Absolutely.
their future.
Yeah.
So real estate decisions are highly emotional. What role does emotional intelligence play in building trust between an agent and a client, and how do clients spot that?
Okay, see, all of us are actually masters at recognizing behavior in people. We're not doing it consciously, we're just doing it unconsciously. Over time, our brains have pictured or segmented certain reactions, tonalities, choice of words, behaviors just on life. So we have those as our frames again, and those are constantly, we are evaluating and judging based on that. So you need to understand that if you do not have emotional intelligence, you're not working with the emotion, because it's the emotion that catalyzes the action. So trust building becomes a problem. I'm not able to really understand what is the core need of this person. It isn't just a 4-bedroom standalone villa in a community like Dubai Hills. I want quick access to a mall. I like outdoor activity. Yes, this is all the surface level need. But below that, there is an emotion driving all of these.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is our ability to tap into those, to recognize those, and to enhance those, and to convert those into the decision with logic that would support that kind of information.
Like a deeper meaning of getting to know
Absolutely.
a client.
People recognize it. People can see what you're doing. So I think one way which would really help is intent. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. This is really, really important. So your intent needs to show. Okay, now, and one question I always ask salespeople is this. Let's say mom and dad came to you, and mom said, or dad said, listen, we just got this bit of money. I've got about $1 million with me. Please help me. I want to buy something in Dubai, but there's just so much going on. I'm confused. I cannot make the wrong investment. If I do it, I'm sunk. I don't have the big money like the others to recover. Help me. And the question I ask the salespeople is, would you or would you not sell them differently?
So is this treat every investor like your mum and dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
However, so that's the intent. However, please don't tell them you remind me of mom or dad. That's too cheesy. You don't need to do
like
that.
my mum.
Yeah. I mean, you look like my younger brother. That's crap.
Yeah, don't take it too far.
The intent will show. I am asking you to do the evaluation. If mom and dad came to you, would you sell differently from how you're selling today? And if the answer is yes, I would sell differently, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's going to come through as
Yes.
well, isn't it?
So the intent will really help manage the emotions, I believe.
Absolutely. Enjoy what you do and passion with it, and then you're going to look after the clients. So for brokerage leaders or developers listening, how important is leadership culture in creating confidence for clients and investors?
Okay, no, I think it's absolutely important. See, if you became a leader, it's not about just enhancing the bottom line. Okay, you have to be the inspiration. Young people who are joining your company are now looking to you for inspiration. When you as a leader sit in front of me, you are the director or the CEO of the company, and I am an investor, I'm expecting a next level of professionalism to show up. I always use the word deal, D-E-A-L. Everyone's looking for a good deal, whether it's a broker joining your company or whether it's an investor. So let's say I'm coming to you, Louise, and you are the CEO of a company, right? I'm an investor. I'm looking for a good deal from you. Now, a good deal doesn't equate to discount. The D stands for direction. You're the expert in the market. You've worked with 400 investors like me. It's my first home I'm buying, or it's my first investment. Even if it's not my first investment, I've never worked with the Dubai Islands before, for example, or I never worked with the developer, same history, whoever, it doesn't matter. But you have. So I'm looking for the direction from you. You understand the dynamics on the ground. You are into, you should be up to date with everything the government is doing. I'm coming from the UK, I'm coming from India, Singapore. I am not in touch with everything on the ground. You are. So I'm looking for that direction from you. I would never say this to you, but it is there as a requirement.
Absolutely.
So that's the D in the deal. Then I'm looking for the equipping. Can you get me what will really give me the return I'm looking for as an investor, or the experience ROI as a homeowner? Can you give me that? Equipping is, can you educate me on this market? Can you tell me what are the hidden costs involved? Can you tell me what's going to be coming up next to this community, say in the next 10 to 15 years? Or is there a bridge going to come right in front and all my views are going to be destroyed? So I'm looking, that's where you equip me. I'm also, equipping is also beyond that. Can you actually get me that unit at a launch with a very popular developer? I gave my EOI, but can you procure it for me? Can you get me that kind of a home in the market? Can you bring the landlord to a reasonable price? I don't want him to lose, but I don't want to lose either. So the equipping becomes very important. Are you able to tell me, hey, by the way, this is going to change in Dubai. There's a new law right now on mortgages, for example. You might want to consider. Can you do that? The A is accountability. Will you take responsibility for my money? You're selling me a home. I'm going to take my wife and kids to that home. And if it's a bad home, I'm stuck in that. I cannot even exit because it is a bad home. So can you take accountability? Can you take action on my behalf? Can you be the one to treat this as your money, not just mine? I'm investing in your business. So I'm looking for the direction. I'm looking for the equipping. I'm looking for the accountability and the action. And I'm looking for leverage. Why you, Louise? There are thousands of agencies. There are people I can... What are you going to bring to the table that will make my experience a red carpet one, when I can get another person to give me an opportunity in the same community? So what's my leverage from you? I think that's it. If leaders begin to think about this, everyone is looking for a good deal. Direction, equipping, accountability with action, and leverage.
Follow the deal.
You're done.
So do you believe buyers and sellers benefit more when they're working with agents who have been coached and trained in mindset and resilience?
Oh, absolutely. Because there's two things here. Remember, the mindset part is important because people are coming with frames of reference. So when you coach people to understand that it's the mindset that needs to be managed first, they have a higher rate of success. So that's very, very important. Left brain thinkers, right brain thinkers, people
We
buying.
still teach that, by the way.
No, believe me, it has to be done. As long as humans are on this planet, that is going to be there. So I think the mindset, those who have been coached on that will begin to understand two mindsets. Firstly, their own. So where are their own red flags? Where are they not really open? I might have certain biases towards a particular developer or a community. So I might make you lean into that when that might not really be the best thing for you. So I need to understand the power of this mindset. I need to understand the mindset of my clients. Culture is part of mindset. How do Asians buy? What do they look at? How do the Europeans buy? How does someone from India buy? These Arabs, how they buy? So I have to learn how to manage the mindset, definitely. Resilience is required for, again, a couple of reasons. People sometimes hesitate. It's a lot of money that they are putting on the table. So rushing them into decisions don't always work. And because they come from certain cultures where they take their time, because they're not used to growth markets like this. And if you have not changed their frame of reference, they will see you as being as pushing. So resilience means I'm not going to give up on you because you are hesitating to make a decision. I'm there for you. That's one thing. I also need to understand that a lot of buyers are talking to multiple agents in the market, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is my money. I want to give myself the best shot at getting what works for me. And I don't even need to tell you I'm working with others.
Yeah.
So my resilience comes in here, because if the others whom he's talking to are also impatient, they're pushing, but I'm not. They are giving up very quickly, but I'm still here. So that resilience, the tenacity will definitely help. It also helps in many ways, because let's say I found this unit, let's take a secondary ready home. The client goes in there, a few others have been viewing it, and by the time we're ready to make the offer, it's gone. Do I lose heart because of something like that? And do I give up quickly? I need that tenacity. So 100%, Brokers who have been coached into developing the right mindset and having resilience will close the deals faster, at bigger value, and even better, they will get the referrals faster. Because when we are referring, we know that this lady or this gentleman, they are with me. The stickiness is there. They're with me through it and beyond. So, yeah, absolutely.
Patience is a virtue in real estate, for sure. So we're seeing a shift towards these smarter, more informed investors. We see that. They want the education, they want the sources. How can coach and support people to take advantage of these market moves?
Yeah, I think the first thing we have to do is teach people not to be afraid of the changes. AI is scaring the crap out of a lot of people. Yeah, I hear this question from
I love it. I use it every
I know,
day.
same here. But for men, I said AI is your friend. You need to understand this. And if you're not coming on to, I'll show you the real danger of AI. Till about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, investors around the world had access to very little information. We still want to be high touch, but we need to be high tech as well as high touch. We cannot give up one for the other.
Yeah.
Recently, I was in a seminar and I asked people, I said, what does AI stand for? And they said, artificial intelligence. Obviously, I said, no, you're wrong. I said, AI stands for actual intelligence. It's you guys who have the artificial intelligence. You don't know the market trends. You don't understand the USPs of the developer, why this community actually works. How is it going to perform and give that kind of ROI? What's the future potential? But AI is already giving all of that, looking at global reports, local reports, developer websites, all of that. So the client is coming to you with actual intelligence and you're sitting with artificial.
It's like AI is going to change. It's going to remove the people who don't use AI.
I think we just have to recognize we have a far more intelligent market today. Dubai is a far more intelligent city. We are becoming a very mature global market today. We are scaring the daylights out of everybody. And that's why the millionaires and the billionaires are coming here. They're not going to come like the traditional buyers who came in the past. So you've got to get smart. People buy from people they like, but people like themselves.
Smart people. So if you could give our audience, whether they're buyers, sellers, investors, anyone watching, one exclusive tip that you've never shared before, what would it be?
One exclusive tip that I have never shared before. Let's take Dubai Hills as an example. I would say develop the thinking of a master developer. Now, what do I mean by this? A master developer creates a portfolio. But when he creates a portfolio, he's thinking long term. He's not creating it for 2 years or 3 years. As an investor, think like a master developer. Create an investment portfolio that is long term, that goes beyond market trends and tribulations in the market, so that it is sustainable long term. It pays you back long term. So that is what a master community. We're sitting in Dubai Hills Estate. This is a long term community that will pay back everyone, whether they're living here or investors or the city of Dubai, over the years to come. So create a portfolio where you give yourself the opportunity.
Become your own master developer of your portfolio.
Of your own. But within Dubai Hills Estate, you will see multiple opportunities. Some of them are trophy assets that you buy them to keep them with you. Some of them could be lifestyle experiences that you want for yourself, or they could be long-term rental yields, consistent. Some of them could be quick turnarounds, because this is a community which allows you to resell fast because the community is ready. So within your own portfolio, balance yourself out. You could have some investments that become signature investments. You want to hold on to those, because those have exclusivity and scarcity, and it's a good feel. It's status for you, or it will give you a super premium exit when you need it. Then create for yourself some quick moving assets which you could liquidate fast, which if you need money. Then create some which consistently work for you while you're asleep. So it's almost like having this mindset of a master developer, and you create your portfolio that way. Now, if you were a broker, be the same.
Yeah.
Look for who are the tier 1 developers I want to focus on. 2 of them. Who are the tier 2? And who could be the tier 3? Which areas do I want to have 1 or 2 strong opportunities waterfront? Do I want a gated community or a desert community? Do I want a contemporary city lifestyle? So build your own master.
Yeah. And Dr. Anand, to wrap up, what's the one piece of advice that you would give anyone listening today who wants not just to succeed in the Dubai real estate market, but thrive?
Success or thriving is a journey. This is the first thing. So if your focus is short term, 6 inches in front of your nose, you're going to lose. This is a market that's built on relationships, it's built on long term opportunity, it's built on visionary thinking. Because another word for infrastructure is real estate. So we are building. You have to remember that Dubai is a developing economy. We are an emerging giant. Unlike many of the other top 10 players, they are fully developed. They have no space to go. For example, Singapore has no space to go. London doesn't have it. New York doesn't have it. Economies are tanking in all these places. There's no growth potential there. So you don't come to a community or a city like ours with limited focus. If you want to thrive, it is a journey. As you are closing your deals, set for yourself the networks, position yourself to become a global ambassador for Dubai and the opportunity. Get yourself visible, get onto social media. I find social media, a lot of people are very weak on it. 1 out of every 3 buyers today is a millennial. They're born online. Your visibility, your credibility comes. You could be very good at what you do, Louise. And as an investor, they could be very good at what they do, but they're not visible. Similarly, for those on the brokers, you're not visible. The only way I'll get to know how good you are is when I come in physical contact with you, or if somebody refers you. But if I'm on social media, I reach the world 24/7. Not only do I reach the world 24/7, I can reach them at 2 in the morning when I'm asleep. So in a city that's fast-paced like ours, that's growing, there is a way to alter the frames of reference with people without pushing them into decisions. Now that is important even for the brokers as well as the investors. Then obviously it's the emotional intelligence side. We need to recognize that the relationships that we build must become long-term. I would leave it with just one bit of advice for a new person. You could be a new investor or you could be a new broker. Be very careful who you listen to. You do not have the maturity yet, market maturity, not mental maturity. As a broker or as an investor, you do not have the market maturity or past experience to really guide you. So if you are not listening to the right person, so let's look at an investor. If you're not listening to the right person, you could be flushing your money down a hole. So if you're new, please be very careful who you listen to in the market.
Absolutely great advice. Totally agree with you. Thank you very much for the chat today and lots of great insights and lots for everybody to think about.
Thank you for having me. Always excited to be with you, Louise.
Thank you, Dr. Anand.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to Property Talk from Louise's Lounge. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. And as always, if you've got any questions, please do reach out and we hope you tune in again next time.